Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford. Jay, a lot to talk about before we get to our sponsor, but you look at five-time winner on the triathlete circuit, tying a record.
Yes.
Flora Duffy, under 17s, been undefeated in their group, and so much more. But let's get that first message from our sponsor.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Winning 5 times on the World Triathlon Series circuit is a huge feat and only been done once before by a female. And now Flora Duffy has tied that record with 1 race to go.
Yeah, I saw it when I was tracking the race the other day, Stockholm.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's Stockholm.
That would be on the other side of
on the other side.
Other side of Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the other side. You know,
it's on the yellow side of the
oil
blue side.
stomping grounds.
Oh yes, well, we'll leave that for another conversation.
But when I was tracking the race, and anything that actually ran through my mind was like, give the athlete of the year now to Flora Duffy.
Well,
Don't even wait.
She's already been the athlete of the year.
Yeah, I mean, male and female, because I don't think we can even appreciate the scope of what she's doing, not just for our individual sport, but what she's doing as far as representing Bermuda on the world stage. Best of the best.
Yes.
And everybody's out to beat her every race. And they can only congratulate at the end when they get there.
Yeah. I mean, she went into this particular race with a big axe on her back. There were those who were chasing to close the gap for the series lead. There were also those that just wanted to beat the number one.
Yeah.
And obviously, she put the hammer down, rode away from a group on the bike, and then ran away from the one competitor that was left, who eventually decided, you know what, I better just hang on for this second place finish. Best get the points in the podium as opposed to trying stay with Flora and not get anything out of it at all.
Now, I don't know if this has been done prior, but I know as far as this weekend, I saw this weekend, I think, I'm not sure if the last weekend, but this with the, what's it, gold cap or whatever.
Yes.
And it's, when you watch races sometimes, you don't really know who the favorite is. Maybe, they might be out front, but it might not be the favorite.
Right.
May not be leading the standings or whatever. But just that in itself, going around the track and going around the course, people get to say,
that's your leader.
That's your leader.
Yeah.
From Bermuda.
Yes, that's right. She wears Bermuda proudly across her chest.
Yes.
That's what we consider advertising that we couldn't afford.
Can't pay for.
We couldn't. And a Bermudian doing it. It's not. We don't bring in someone to pose. No. We don't go somewhere for foreign people to pose for us to advertise Bermuda. This is a Bermudian, born, bred, brought up.
And she goes to the 4 corners of the earth.
That's right.
It's not like she's just doing it in the UK or just doing it in the United States. She's going to 4 corners, wherever. Let's do world.
From Germany to Sweden to Canada to wherever. She's been, gone, and conquered. Let's get a look at the highlights and an interview with Flora after Stockholm.
The stunning city of Stockholm, the Swedish capital, was the setting for the penultimate race of the 2017 World Triathlon Series. Flora Duffy had dominated so far, winning 4 and finishing second once. But Ashley Gentle showed by winning the last race in Montreal that she's more than capable of potentially winning the title. Andrea Hewitt won the first 2 races of the season. She was in the field as well. A field of 33 made up of women from 16 different countries. And it was Jessica Learmonth of Great Britain who showed the way in the water. Just over 19 minutes, she came out in front ahead of her countrywoman Lucy Hall, and Flora Duffy again such a consistent swimmer. She was out in third, just where she wanted to be, and it was absolutely perfect for a small breakaway on the bike. Learmonth showing good technique to get out the wetsuit. And Katie Zafiris also in a lead group of 3. They dropped Lucy Hall. Top swim from Zafiris, who's been racing much more aggressively of late. She began the day in 3rd place in the overall standings. After lap 1 she was right there, but then disaster struck for the American midway through the bike course. Lost the front wheel and she was taken to hospital for checks and x-rays. Meanwhile, the chasing pack were losing more and more ground, around 2 minutes adrift with just 3 laps to go. Ashley Gentle and Andrea Hewitt were among those in the second chase group, way further back than they wanted to be. That hill proving really tough for everyone. Learmonth stayed with Duffy for the entirety of the bike, and for her it was just a case of whether a 2-minute 30 buffer would be sufficient to hold everyone off and get her a first ever World Triathlon Series podium. No danger whatsoever to Flora Duffy though, who's been one of the best runners all season, maybe apart from Ashley Gentle. You can see the gap there growing and growing over Learmonth. Ashley Gentle was having a phenomenal run, running through the field into 3rd place. No way though she was going to catch the Bermudian, and Duffy wins for the 5th time this season. It means she'll go into the grand final with maximum points, 4,000 of them to be exact. Learmonth, a stellar day for her, her first medal, and it's a silver. Terrific effort to hold off a storming run from Ashley Gentle, who from more than 2.5 minutes back off the bike secured a podium just to keep Flora Duffy honest in the race for the title. What it all means is that Duffy needs a top 7 finish to retain the world title she won in Cozumel.
Yeah, I was very happy with today to, execute a solid race, swim, bike and run. My swim has, I guess, been a little shakier this year, so it was nice to come out 3rd behind Jess and Lucy. That's like perfect position, and then onto the bike, yeah, just hammering that first lap to create a gap, and that kind of set the race up perfectly.
Our mathematicians say that the way things stand, you need to come 7th or better to retain your world title, but I'm sure there'll be no complacency, because as we saw today with Katie, nothing's ever certain in this sport.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of the reason that I came here. I had 5 pretty good scores before today, but as you said, you never know what's going to happen, and with the grand final being 1.5 points, you kind of want to go in there with the biggest buffer you can to just absolutely make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of winning the world title.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Jay, last night I ventured to the LF Wade International Airport. I have been there for quite a few arrivals of national teams. When I got there weren't many people there, but I set up on the opposite side where I usually set up.
Got your own spot, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Ah, yes.
But then I heard noise. I said, oh, that sounds like the Gun Bears. I said, oh, it must be the Caravas people coming back. Lo and behold, I venture around, and there's the Premier's car, government officials' cars. They've already gone inside, but the group of people that came to welcome back the under-17 women's national football team, all you saw was a sea of blue, red, Bermuda flags, air horns, and that traditional beat.
Yeah. It's definitely a feel-good moment.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it in the last couple of episodes that were very proud of the young ladies. Just for where the life has taken, what sport has been able to do with them. The coach, they're bought into the coaches, they're brought into the system.
Yeah.
And we sort of knew what it was going to be like as far as expectations. I had said, Coach Robinson's not one to boast and brag about anything, but she was very confident.
Yeah.
So my expectations was exactly what Coach Robinson's expected was too in this, But I'm just going to switch the channel just a little bit, because sometimes we don't want to talk about the next. You've said you've been down to LFB International, welcome back many international teams who've done well. And yeah, the program might go on, but some of those athletes basically go to the wayside.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, as a government, as a sporting organizations, we start doing something. I'm not saying, like other countries, give people land and all this, but we need to do something very special when we have these special moments.
Right.
Because, when we have kids growing up, and even these young ladies, they got little sisters, little nieces.
Yeah.
We got to start documenting stuff and giving them and showing us appreciation, not just at the airport.
Right. Well, that was the thing. You remember we had a conversation on another show with the president of the Bermuda Football Association yesterday, and I made a suggestion that we showcase these young ladies at football games. It's a start.
That's a start.
Showcase them at your events. Here we have coming up the Charity Shield, and the Dudley Eve gets underway.
I think also we was doing another show and we were talking about with the BFA just going around in the schools. I think we should be having a school tour with these young ladies in everybody's assembly. Because if we're trying to
inspire,
yeah,
and could do boys as well.
Exactly, and this is if you stay away from certain things and make the right choices. Because basically, this is what it's about. They have made the right choices to be dedicated to a sport that 10 years ago, we would have never thought of our young ladies going
internationally.
Internationally.
Yeah. We just looked at it domestically. When you looked at the structure of the leagues, let's go back 10, 12 years ago. The structure of the women's league was just a domestic idea to get women involved in the matches and so forth. Now we've grown to the point where we're taking hold of some of these teams in the Caribbean that used to wipe us off the field. We look back to the tournament where the under-20s lost to Jamaica 2-1. Jamaica beat them 7-1 just a year ago. Inspiration for Bermudians, it's all about the emotion. It's all about how we get started and how things materialize.
And I say that because I think we drop the ball a lot of times with our athletes. And I'm not only saying just for these young ladies now, but guess what? If they feel the appreciation from all parties, then even when their playing career is over, they still want to be a part of the setup. So they come back, or they go and get all the coaching badges, or they want to come back and help with whatever company they're working with to get the sponsorship or the marketing, all these different things that can help the sport go further. But a lot of times, we disassociate ourselves with those athletes. They feel a grudge or feel some way, and they back away, and that's the last time you get to see them. So I'm just hoping now when we do have these good feeling moments that we can use this momentum and go forward.
Well, let's get the arrival of the under-17 women's national team at the LFB International Airport last night.
night, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful. Love to see everybody here. It's a great start. It's a great start because we have work to do in October. I'm sure we all watched through Facebook Live. Who were the commentators? Put your hand up. The commentators, one commentator. So we all watched on Facebook Live, you know, the success of our girls in our first hurdle. But yes, there is another hurdle. So we'll have some fun, we'll enjoy it. But then there's work to end. Tomorrow, coach? Or the day after? So they're off until the 11th. But what I want to do, I don't want to keep us too long because I know we still want to hug and all that kind of stuff. I just want to bring up Minister Fogo, who is the Acting Minister of Social Development and Sport. To just say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, Bermuda. A proud occasion indeed, yes? Let's hear some noise, yes. Our daughters have acquitted themselves extremely well. 3 victories, 3-0, 5-0, and 13-1. And we only expect even greater results come October when they will be up against Haiti. And all I can say is your daughters are great ambassadors for Bermuda, and they are a testament to the training that they've received by our coaches. And all I can say is that coaches, keep up the good work. Girls, train, 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 and show everyone, the rest of the world, show Bermuda that, what did I say earlier? Bermudian girls rock. Okay.
Okay, right now we want to, we're just going to bring up Coach, who's packing another Gombe Warrior. Yes.
Good night. I will keep it short. It's a little hot out here. It's 20 degrees hotter for me, obviously. Thank you. This is very overwhelming. Inside they said there was a lot of people, but there's a lot of people. This is a wonderful group of girls. It's not just a team, it's a family. This morning when we were getting ready to leave, a few of the girls came into Sharice and I's room and was like, we need to know room numbers because we need to make sure that everybody is awake and everybody's ready to be downstairs on time. And I say this, and I know I have some other older players here, but this by far, in my playing career, my teaching career, my coaching career, is the best team I have ever worked with on and off the field. And they... It's probably the easiest HOD job that Manny's ever done. We had no problems. When it came to the football side, you know, they did the job. Yes, 3-0 against St. Lucia, and I wanted more. But first game, jitters against the host, who had a little crowd behind them in the beginning. But I think that all the St. Lucia fans are now Bermuda fans. But, you know, in the Antigua game, our girls had to dig deep. You probably couldn't see it based on the video, but they battled. I mean, they took some licks. You know, at one point I asked a player if they were tired, and I had to be reminded. No, she's not tired. She's just out there battling. And, you know, in the final match, yes, 13 girls, and you look and you say, why so many? Why not pay possession? These are the little questions I've been asked. But when you're listening to the announcers and they're saying, oh, this person has got this many girls, and this person in another part of the tournament from another country has this many girls, and you potentially can have the leading goal scorer at the end of the tournament come from Bermuda, you don't tell that player to stop scoring goals, you know. And then you have young Caitlin, the youngest player probably in the tournament, you know, to come on and score a goal in her debut as an under 17. She will remember that. We will remember that. And at that stage, Aruba were down by 11 goals. And at the end of the match, they wanted to have a picture with Lil Caitlin. So, you know, it's more than just football. This team, look out for these girls. We are going to stay together. We are going to grow together. They're going to make us proud in Haiti. I don't see it not happening based on what we were able to watch and we were able to see. So, yes, the coaches have given them until September 11th. But September 11th we start, and it's 6 days a week because we have to be ready to go to Haiti. Or they have to be ready to go to Haiti. Bittersweet, but I got to take care of what I got to take care of. But I will be there in spirit, and we will definitely be getting these girls ready. So thanks again, parents. We are going to be a nuisance to you for a few more weeks because our goal is Nicaragua. I will challenge you, parents. Listen to me. Your children do not know where Nicaragua is. I've asked a few. Please sit down with them and explain where Nicaragua is, okay? Because that's where we're heading in April. Thanks again. Have a good night.
Evening, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for the love and support over the whole tournament. It's been amazing. This group of girls is just, I can't even explain. They work hard on and off the pitch, and they do what they got to do. And you can see once we got on that pitch, we did what had to be done. And we won all of our games. Conceded one, but that was okay. And I really don't have much to say because these girls are just amazing. We're ready for Haiti, and we're going to do whatever it has to do. We're going to train hard. We're going to do our best. We're going to pass the expectations because that's what Bermuda girls want to do. So thank you all for supporting us, and we're looking forward to you guys watching us in Haiti. Thank you.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digicel. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, Jay, we just finished the Western County Cup competition.
Yeah.
Southampton Rangers emerged victorious, defeating Warwick Workmen half hour before we had predicted.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
But that was between you and I. That was between you and I.
But I tell you, it was still an interesting match, and even though it was very low score,
right.
But it was a very interesting match because when you look at the two sides is total opposites, really.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, Southampton Rangers, very experienced, very talented. You had cup match players, ex-captains. You had the whole 9.
Mm-hmm.
If you took out Kenneth Darrow,
right.
aka Kenai, out of that team,
Lionel Can.
He didn't play.
Right.
So you just take Kenai out of the squad they had the other day, the average age was probably about 20. With Southampton Rangers, the average age was probably about 35.
In saying that, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be concerned about Southampton Rangers in about 5 years?
I think to be honest with you, I think that's the problem that Rangers has had probably for the last 20 years. And I can go back a little while regarding that. They've struggled with youth programs. Football, they do quite well, and they're building that back up this year under the stewardship, I believe, of Gennaro Tucker. But cricket, I know he's been trying to get some, but that's been the problem. So, and then what happens is that when you have once again, totally opposite. For a youngster to get on a team that's full of experience and a team that's winning, he's really gonna have to be something special.
Right.
And I said that's why Alex Dorsch was being able to get in the team because he's been special from. I mean, he's under 19's captain.
Right. Right.
So compared to Warwick, they need numbers.
Yeah.
So you could probably some of those guys would probably start when they're 14 and 15
Yes.
into that senior squad.
Right.
So totally different. So would you be more concerned with you putting these youngsters in the senior league when they're not ready?
Right. No.
So you see, it works both ways.
Right.
And because Warwick, like I said, they haven't really had a strong senior side
No, for quite some time.
for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, those two teams, you can see, you can see where they're gonna have their challenges going forward. Obviously, the Rangers boys, they're probably more closer to the back end of their career, but obviously with Warwick, these guys are just starting theirs.
Right.
So you do see a hint, or you do see some moments of some good cricket, but then you see DeMonta Wides, bare field placement, no balls because of field placement, overthrows when it shouldn't have been thrown. I mean, different mistakes that it shouldn't have happened.
Right. Right.
If it was experienced players out there. So these are things you're going to get, but Warwick is just, I mean, you can name probably about 4 teams very similar to Warwick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And about 3 teams very similar to Rangers.
Yes, indeed. And the rest ain't in between.
And the rest in between, because we could say the same thing about St. David's. Not too many youngsters coming through that team either.
No. Because these guys that are playing for St. David's have all grown old together. Most of them started 16, 17. Now they're late 20s, early knocking on 30.
The problem is when they all finish, they all seem to finish around the same time.
Right, right.
So they deplete a team. We
Yeah.
saw that happen with Western Stars.
Yes, yes.
Which was
no one wanted to be left alone, so they all left.
They all left.
And the program struggled for
They're
decades.
just started to get back to where they were.
Yeah. Well, we go from the Western County to this coming Saturday is Eastern County.
The final round.
The final round that will see cup holders, Bailey's Bay, taking on what they consider the mighty. They haven't been mighty for quite some time, but the mighty Flats at Lord's and St. David's. How interesting will it be now that we've been able to report Kamal Levrock has made himself available for Flats Victoria, coming off a knock of 54 for Handsworth yesterday on the bank holiday in the UK. Also taking 2 for 21 off of 6 overs. You're licking your lips.
Yeah, because my crystal ball was clear this time. It's not always clear, but it was clear. No, a little birdie did not tell me, so let me, I don't want to blame the family or anybody, but I knew with the fact that when he played the league match after cup match, which a lot of players normally take that day off. If they played the Thursday and Friday, most guys who are involved in the cup match, they don't really play the league match on the Sunday.
Right, right.
First time playing for Flats.
Yes. Big family tradition.
Big family tradition. Had never played.
All of a sudden, he transferred. Yeah, and it's a well disguised plan.
Orchestrated
plan. Yes.
But no, and it would bring, and I think it would do the exact same thing they did for cup match. It would bring some extra excitement because, and I'll say the same thing with cup match. With Flats, you still got some game changers.
Yes. Yeah.
Regina Smith has set up a big century in this Eastern County. Reginald Baker.
One person that's been consistent over the years but don't get the recognition is Captain Kevon Franks.
I've been, to be honest with you, and we've spoke about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's not made himself available, but personally, I think he should be one that should be looking for a spot in this cup match for St. George's. He gives you more than numbers. Even though he produces.
Right.
But he gives you more than numbers. His attitude towards the game, managing players, managing attitudes, managing losing, because sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
And he's a three-point player.
Right.
You've seen him on the field. You've seen him wherever it's needed. You've seen him bowl.
Yeah. It's among the wickets.
And it's always amongst the wickets. Yeah. So, and he's having another pretty good seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
But we just never talk about him because most people think of Kyle more of a footballer.
Yeah, yeah.
Of a footballer.
Yeah.
But I think personally, very underrated. And I mean, this stage, and that's what Eastern County really is. It's a big stage. And hopefully, I'm hoping it will be his day.
Yeah.
Now, it's gonna take something special to beat this Bayless Bay team right now. It will take something special. But if I just to go off of what we've seen, the wicket down in St. David's, you can get some wickets.
Yeah.
You can get some wickets. So it wasn't a big score down there last time.
Nope.
So who knows what can happen on the day? Nelson Bascom's gonna have to build his socks off.
Well, he built his socks off on that same strip.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the same wicket, but on the same strip on Sunday. Got 4 wickets. Yeah, 4 wickets. Yeah. And you know, they produced a solid all-round performance to get the job done.
And what's Van
Tunda? Yeah, South African. Didn't have the best of county debuts, but he'll be looking to stake a claim this time around and show Bermuda what they miss every Sunday that they don't get to see, the pink and green.
And I think the biggest thing is them now is just believing that they can finish.
Right.
The last 4 or 5 years, they're in it.
Yeah.
It's the finishing part is where they come up short. So I think it's just now let's just get. And sometimes, well, we saw that happen with Cleveland. Who would have thought a couple of years ago with Cleveland?
Yeah.
So
it took a special moment from one player.
That's right.
And supporting cast.
And if Bay sits back on the laurels, it can probably get very interesting. Really interesting. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The question would be, guest players.
For who?
Flats.
Well, he wouldn't be considered a guest player.
No, I'm not talking about Kamal.
Who are you talking about?
Who would you take as guest players?
I don't know.
In the past, they've taken people like Ryan Bermuda, but he hasn't even been playing.
Yes, yeah.
Vernon
Eve, he can get it. He's been building well this year.
He's been building. Not much of a bad in him, but he's amongst the wickets.
Yes.
And what you need to do, you need to
build Bay out. Yeah. So be very interesting. They've penciled in 3 or 4. Well, maybe 5. But the rest, we'll see. Dijon Carey, if he's available to play, he's been a spark for them. Game on, game off type deal. But who knows? It's all on the day, and it's who shows up and who wants to be crowned the champions, because it's going to be a very interesting Saturday afternoon at Lord's and St. David's.
Well, we would definitely be there. We would definitely be there.
Bells and whistles.
Yep.
Well, Jay, we're talking cricket, and we know cricket is not in the best of states in Bermuda. We've highlighted several issues that go on in the games, player deportment, scheduling, everything. I got an opportunity to sit down with the president of the Bermuda Cricket Board, Lloyd Frey, to talk about just some of those things, just to get an insight from the board's perspective on how cricket is being operated, where we're going, and how we plan to get there. So let's get that interview with Lloyd Frey, the president of the Bermuda Cricket Board. Lloyd Frey, president of the Bermuda Cricket Board. We want to talk cricket. We're coming towards the end of another season.
Sure.
But on the field, the game looks a bit out of sorts. Administratively, what are we looking to do to try to enhance the game on the field for the 2018 season?
Well, to get the answer to that, I'll tell you what we've been doing from the board for the past few years. And the board has, for the few years, putting in a strategy and has a strategy in place. And the question you just raised is quite a broad question in terms of what's being delivered on the field versus what the administration is doing. But this strategy has been a rolling strategy for us, and we've identified at least 6 elements, or what we consider pillars, to help bring the game and to raise the standard of the game of cricket here in Bermuda. And under those pillars, there's initiatives that take place, and those initiatives that we truly believe in, that needs to be done to get those standards up. And so with those pillars, we've created the various committees. And these committees work diligently and hard to make sure that those initiatives are being carried out. Now, so the game itself, in terms of what we're doing for the game, I believe is going in the right direction. In terms of the standard of cricket, we're still got work to do. So when you say out of sorts, I mean that can go either.
I'm talking about the standard of the game.
Okay, we're talking about standard,
yeah.
And that's where that we're going to see that over time, because of those building blocks that we've been doing for the past 3 to 4 years are now starting to take shape. And so there's more cohesiveness now with the clubs. We've got coaching standards now that we didn't have before. We've done quite a bit of work with the coaches. Clay has done a fantastic job. There's a lot more FaceTime, and that by and large funding is a big part of it. In terms of how the board operates, a lot of these things are moving in the right direction. It's going to be time now, and I said this even when I first came president. I think I mentioned, and I'm sure if you go back, it would take 8 to 10 years, I can see, because we're in that developmental stage. Right. But I truly believe the building blocks are there, and now it's getting more of at the grassroots level. That's where our focus is, capturing the kids at an early stage, getting back into the schools. Cricket is a passion. It's something you just don't get out of the air. It starts at that stage of their life. So we're trying to harness that as best we can and make sure that when we capture these kids, girls and boys, that we have set the programs in place, which we do have in place, to make sure that staging of the next stage in their life and to their career development in cricket, that they can see over the horizon. And that's what we've been doing.
If you look at the past few weeks and the scores, low scores, especially Cutbatch and Eastern County, you look at those two matches there, is that a reflection of the standard of cricket currently? The low scoring.
It's so many variations as to why you would have a low scoring game. It could be it could be player, it could be the ability of players, but it also could be the environment. It could be the wicket. Cut match, you only had 1 day of real good cricket. But again, I'm not gonna shy away from it. The standard is not where we want it to be. Right. That's something that we saw way back before I even came. When I was before I was president, I was just sitting on the board as the vice president. Second vice president, we identified then that we need to put in the programs and help with things like our academies, and we've seen we've got good products come from our academies. Right. We've had Delray Rollins, we've had Taryn Frey, I can go on, and these are good products. We want more of that, but we need the clubs to be more innovative with us. They need to be, and they are. They're starting to. I'm happy to report that we now have that relationship, that they now understand the importance. I said that in the reward speech last year. That clubs, we all come from club cricket. We can't ignore that. That's the gateway in, and it's the gateway out. So to harness players, to understand where players are, and to make sure that those programs are continued, and to identify players that, I've said this even in cup match, to the 2 cup match clubs, there should be no players playing in cup match that shouldn't play for the national team. It's those types of standards we need to put in play. The coaching element of it is very, very important. And I think that's something that we've worked hard over the last few years. Still work to be done, with the introduction of the level 1 and level 2 sanctioned courses from the ICC that we're putting on, because that's where it all begins. It starts from getting the kids, getting them early, and the coaching standards, moving them up even into senior level cricket.
Umpiring, how will we address the shortage? Because in Bermuda, officiating is not the most easiest thing to do, and wanting to get people to give up their time, although you get paid, but give up their time for the abuse. Sure. Both on and off the field.
Sure. We've as well, as I said, the relationships, this is something that we have also garnered over this past year, or 2 years, but mainly in this last year. Something that we saw as a board of being, because with the strategy, those people, like the clubs, umpires are critical. Without the umpiring, we don't have cricket. Right. So we've been working closely with the umpires to help identify what things needs to be done. Do we need to get a bigger pool? Just like I need more pool of players, well, they need more pool of umpiring, and the standard of umpiring quality. The board has been, forthcoming and trying to assist umpiring as best we can, making sure that those umpires who are, at the cusp of in terms of their credentials, get more exposure. But certainly on the domestic front, that has been an issue and something that we're looking to address with the Umpire Association in due time.
You mentioned that it's going to take about 10 years for the quality.
8 to 10 years,
8
sure.
to 10 years.
Yeah.
Curators, we're running very low on them. How will that be addressed? I know it's a club issue, but it's also
curators,
people that prepare wickets.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Okay, yeah, I got you.
We see that number dwindling year after year after year. How will we address that in years to come? It's going to be a huge issue.
Sure, sure. And these are things, again, as we sit with the clubs and the administrations of those clubs, how important it is for the preparation of wickets. You know, again, the board has, over the years, put its arm out to try to assist us, because we're, you know, it is, you know, in all these things we speak about, it is definitely resource intensive. And that's something that we don't have the luxury of.
Right.
And we know the clubs struggle with that. But what we do is at the board level is try to assist to make sure that we give them as much of scope that they need and the assistance based on whether it be education on preparing wickets, or we would also assist in seeing where, you know, if there's a you know, availability from another club or facility that they can lend a hand. But again, it is definitely an avenue, something that we're going to tackle in this year with the clubs.
What can one see next year from your administration for cricket?
Well, our next stage is, like I said, the building blocks, which I'm happy that they're in place, and it took some time to get there. I think we're going to start to see the fruits of that labor coming soon. Now is to get more technical profiling of players. You know, I've spoken to the board at the last several meetings that, you know, we need to look at more systematic stuff. Data is important. Data does not lie. Data tells the truth on how players are you know, whether a batsman or bowler, are they able to you know, hit an onside shot? Are they able to score 3 out of 4 balls? That's the data that we're missing. Some of it's captured, and we do some of that today, but we need a more holistic approach, and something that the board needs to harness, as well as maybe have at a point in time, have the clubs feed into that system so they can have the ability to do that as well. So that's what we're going to start to look at more. Continue to you know, embrace and grow the academy. Look to continue to place students in the UK. We think that's worked well for us and it continues to work well. Exposure internationally is important for us. Geographically is always a challenge for Bermuda because, you know, things now are very, very expensive. But we're always looking to work with our partners, you know, whether it be the ICC, even in the West Indies, which we're continuing to do on a daily basis. And so that's the things that we're going to be pushing. Definitely in the education system, I mentioned earlier, we're going to look to try to push to get cricket to be top of mind, certainly in the high schools. I think it's critical. So that's what we're going to be pushing over the next year.
Were you a bit concerned that cricket started later this year than normal?
When you say so later, I mean, we had the T20.
Right.
You know, I mean, so again, this is the innovation part that because we can't ignore T20. T20 is part of world cricket.
Right.
You know, we wanted to you know, look at ways that we could be more innovative. So we wanted more participation in the T20, and that was an amazing result. You know, it started 1 month before the domestic league,
right.
And in that format, you know, there were many teams on a plate system,
right.
and you know, and it was well attended. I mean, I couldn't believe, you know, the amount of people. It would look like Eastern Connie's at Bayless Bay at the final. So. In starting late, it's always difficult because we also have to work because, you know, the fields that we play on are also used for soccer, and that's always been a challenge, you know, because we have to work with the clubs and their administration, especially at the end of the football season, to get those fields prepared. And then there are clubs who do not have fields, hosting issues that they have to secure. So, you know, we do as best we can from a scheduling standpoint, but those are the things, unfortunately, if the fields are not ready, then it does hold up the schedule. But in terms of what was produced from this year, I'm quite pleased.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digicel. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, as you heard from the president, Lloyd Frey, and I think probably the most important thing is the communication between the board and the clubs. A lot of times, when there's a lack of communication, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. So the board could be doing so many tremendous things, but then over the side, it's like, well, what the hell? What are they doing? You know what I'm saying? I think the more those talks are ongoing, and the respect is mutual between, because realistically, and he mentioned it, that we're all a cricketing family. It has to be buy-in from everybody. Just can't be just the board to support all this. All the clubs not playing that part also. So I think that communication has to strengthen. We've seen a lack of it on both sides.
Yes.
And I think it has to strengthen if we want to improve our cricket locally.
Yeah. Well, from the cricket shores of Bermuda to Indianapolis, Madeline Moore and Jesse Washington have been representing Bermuda at the 6th FINA Junior World Championships. Let's get the day-to-day report from Indianapolis. Madeline Moore and Jesse Washington continue competing in the 6th FINA World Junior Swimming Championships in Indianapolis, competing in the women's 100-meter butterfly. Moore won Heat 1, touching the wall in a time of 105.88. That saw her finish 47th overall. Competing in the men's 100-meter freestyle, Washington recorded a time of 51.96, which saw him finish 7th in Heat 7 and 43rd overall. Well, Jay, if I seem a bit tired, it's because I spent a lot of time up late last night. Had the opportunity to watch Bermuda Winter Olympic hopeful Matthew Lejour compete in Australia in their Mogul National Championships. And then, he finished 27th out of 71 competitors. That actually is a remarkable feat for Matthew. I know his family was excited because I saw the chats going on, and we're talking like 1:30 this morning. But just to see the Bermuda flag put up and he was getting ready to come down the slope, really, really does your heart proud. Another day of competition is tomorrow, well, again tonight, later on tonight, but 27th out of 71 competitors in an international Mogul National Championship that didn't just feature Australians, because you had Chinese, you had Canadians, you had USA, you had everyone that wanted to try and get points and get an early start to the season at this particular event. Matthew's using this as part of his training. He's training in Australia with this Mogul Academy group, and they were the ones who put this event on, and it featured countries from all around the world.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. The only time I follow this is Olympics and X Games, Winter X Games, which I love to see you in, Matthew. Sure, okay? X Games. But no, it's something that is one of those sports that have blossomed over the years. And what I talked about X Games is really put it on the map because of the excitement of it. The excitement of it. And then, you know, you don't see, even though it's still going on, the alpine skiing and all that, but it's not as how it used to be.
Not at all.
About 10, 15 years ago. But you see more moguls and more of the different styles of skiing now. And I don't know if there's more probably for safety concern. But I think for just a fan, and I think that's where a lot of this stuff gets turned to. Basically, what's about to look for the fan, a controlled environment to broadcast it. And for us, like you said, you're up 1:30, looking at something that's in Australia, a Bermudian. That tells you right there, looking at a sport that we would have never heard of 10, 15 years ago.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we go from Australia to England. The name Nikki Wells. The deadline is approaching, fast approaching. As we know, Thursday at 7 p.m. Bermuda time, the transfer window will close. And news this morning is that Burnley have revisited the possibility of taking on Nikki Wells. Early stages, but the deadline is fast approaching. So expect some news today, tomorrow, and even Thursday on the possibility of Nikki Wells either staying at Huddersfield or moving on. But Burnley have revisited. And and admitted they've revisited the possibility of taking on the Key Routes as they get ready for the international break. And he's now, what, 4 weeks into his recovery.
So approximately a week
another week or two.
Back
he
to
can be back
full
in
training.
Yeah. So it's all to play.
Yeah, it's okay. Once again, no little birdie has told me anything, but I have a little bit different from the last time we talked about it. Personally, I think Huddersfield can probably keep him and to the next window.
January.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the.
If they won 10, he's going to have to play.
Yeah.
He's going to literally.
Yeah.
They're going to have to give him some chances to play. To then put that 10 for them to get something for them, because remember, they won't get anything in April, May.
Right.
You know, so
they, I mean, right now it's hard negotiating for Huddersfield because he's not playing.
Right.
You know, and Mike Burnley does want him, so it's just trying to come up with those numbers now. Huddersfield right now, they probably want to offload some players, and they are doing quite well, surprisingly, but they are doing quite well. They're still undefeated. You know, but in saying that, they know they're going to need the depth of players to survive in this league. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm just got a funny feeling that it might just stretch out to January.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Hopefully, personally, I hope he does go to a championship team this year.
Yeah.
This year, because I know if he goes to a championship team this year, he'll be playing.
Yes, indeed.
Week to week.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'd love for him to play in Premier. I don't see that happening right away.
No.
Not in this circumstance, as we speak, coming off an injury.
Right. Well, Jay, we're going to end today's show with triathlon news. We started with triathlon. We're going to end with triathlon. Tyler Smith competed in the British Junior National Championships yesterday on the bank holiday again in the UK, finishing 5th in the junior male elite race. It was a fantastic performance from him. Just overall, very pleased with his performance. Came out of the water with the lead group. Got in the pack with a group of cyclists. Eventually broke up a little bit, but he stayed strong, finishing 5th. Let's get the roundup of Tyler Smith competing in Britain yesterday. Tyler Smith competed in the British Under-20s Triathlon Festival at Mallory Park in Leicestershire, England yesterday. Smith finished 5th out of 57 competitors in the junior elite male race with a time of 59:26. Smith recorded a swim time of 9:36, which covered a distance of 0.75 kilometers. The 20.5k bike course saw Smith clock a time of 32:28, and then he clocked a run time of 16:09 over a 5k distance. Well, Jay, that sets Tyler up for a very special day, because believe it or not, September 16th, when Flora is competing, Tyler will be competing at the same venue. So how special would that be?
And that's our last race, right?
Yeah.
Man, we gotta make that trip, bro. Well, folks, that's Bermuda Pride. I mean, it also, and I'm just looking these same two. I can't wait. The anticipation for next year,
April 28th.
The year after,
April, yeah.
And the year after,
April.
Then we have the World
Triathlon Championship
Series here.
Yeah.
And only focus, and guess who will be the favorite? Probably going into the women's. Bermuda's on. On Bermuda soil.
That's right. Yeah. Well, can't wait. Yeah. Folks, that's it for the Digicel Sports Show right here. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and Juggling Jay. Do enjoy your night.